few whatchamacallits, I have been swearing quite a bit, so I'll try to. I won't promise anything, but I'll try not to as much.
Fair.
What did you think of my little joke in the chat, by the way?
We are recording, by the way, but what joke?
You said that you I hereby ban sorry from the vocabulary.
I took no notice of that.
And then I said I apologize instead.
Oh, look, you little fucker. The way it works, right?
I'd laugh if that was like the first thing on the podcast. Just listen here, you little fucker.
Great stuff.
Yeah, I mean...
Lovely.
Ooh, something is up. I'm trying to see.
Oh no.
No. It's nothing on your end. It's
okay.
my end. I'm trying to find why Discord is not lining up properly. Explain thyself.
Rude.
Talk amongst yourselves.
That is very rude.
Talk amongst yourselves while I figure it out.
Okay.
How are you?
I'm okay. Oh, just having memory problems, apparently.
Oh, okay.
No.
Are you alright?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay, all fixed.
I think I've just been doing too much.
Oh my god. Doused needs breakfast.
Yeah.
Whatever old-timey English goes for breaks.
Breaks. I don't know.
No, it sounds like Brexit. Oh my god.
No, I don't have that.
Right, so before we start with the Steely Man, what are your guys' perspectives so far? Having had a night to marinate on what we've gone through, has your perspective on it changed? In terms of, do you think more of it, less of it, or is it still moderate in terms of where we were before the conversation started?
I feel the same about it still. Nothing's changed as of yet, but we haven't finished it yet, so who knows?
Yeah, I feel the same way. Man of Steel is one of those films where I recognize that it's got flaws that are very present in the film. And I do remember, I have always enjoyed the first half more than the second. But it's a film that I still enjoy. And that stayed the same with this conversation.
Wonderful. Yeah. Right. So, where we left off was Lois Lane tells Clark that she knows how to beat Zod. Because, what's his face? Duracell told her how. Now we're on board Zod's ship, and we get to find out that the mad scientist has found where the codex is, and it is integrated into Clark's cells. And this is where Zod asks, oh my god, like, does he need to be living in order for us to harvest it? And apparently no. So I think we spoke
dead or alive.
I think we spoke about it yesterday. Like, it's like cells die, so maybe if it was infused with his DNA or something like that, I'd be a lot more it'll be a lot more believable, because like with each cell that dies, how does the DNA of the other Kryptonians transfer to, like, we're getting into some science stuff that just makes no sense at this point, because like if a cell splits into two, like how does how does it work? I'm very confused in this moment. It's not a big thing, but it's a little thing that just pecks me in the back of the head saying I'm present, and I don't like it.
Yeah. I got the same vibe. I was like, huh? Wait. What? How are you gonna get his cells if they're dead? But yeah, it wasn't a major thing. I was just like, oh, whatever. I'm having a good time, movie. I'll let you off.
I'm of the opinion. I'm of the perspective of I'm not gonna let you off. It's still something that should be thought of, but in the grand
Yeah.
scheme of things, it is a nitpick.
That's
So it's still a criticism, just not as big of a criticism as Wonder Woman having sex with a guy without permission.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a big one.
Yeah,
So-
I acknowledge it's a problem, but it's a very small problem that I can choose to ignore if I, want
Yeah.
to.
I feel the same way. Like it's one of those where it's not like film shattering to me. So it's one of those where I can get over it. Like it's not a big problem to me.
Sweet. So once that is done, they decide to launch the world engine. Oh my god. And the ship breaks into two, and one half goes into the Pacific Ocean. Which is great. Asia. Woo! It's an alright
Fun
place.
times.
Like building it up, and I'm just like, it's an alright place. But yeah. Like, I think we're gonna go through this next half an hour pretty quick because most of it is literal action from here on out.
Yeah, non-stop pretty much.
It just doesn't stop.
That's why yesterday I was like, it was a wild ride just for this part of the film.
Yeah, literally, like, this is the fastest we've gone through any DC film, and I'm really happy about that. Because we're not going for like 8 hours talking about a terrible film. It's just like, oh, it's only like 5.5 maybe.
Yeah.
But yes, once the ships split, they go in their different directions, and one of them lands in the Indian Ocean with the TIE fighter scream. Yay!
Yeah, I
Love
noticed
it.
that. I was like,
Love it.
was the? Because I was like talking to my brother at the time, and I was like, I think they just used the Star Wars sound.
They did.
I was like, okay,
As you do.
yay.
It's one of those
I'm just
really
glad I
neat.
spotted it.
It's one of those really neat things for film fans where you're just like, wait, did they just? I think they did.
Yeah.
Yep, it was one of those moments. I was like, okay, film. That was kind of neat.
So, yeah, after that, the main Zod ship is hanging right above a metropolis, which is fine. So, we get multiple shots of, the onlookers looking forward at the floating ship, just wondering, what the fuck was my Friday looking up to be? It's like, I had none of this planned. And
Well,
everyone...
there goes the barbecue.
So I do kind of like the fact that the two ships are working in tandem to terraform Earth. I'm cool with that. My big question is, I think we brought it up in the last episode as well, why terraform Earth in the first place? Why not go to Mars? Why not Pluto? Any planet will do, right? Because you're trying to revive Krypton, because you know where the Genesis Chamber is. Take the terraforming machine, go to some other fucking planet, and then boom, problem solved.
I think it was just convenience, really.
I think they just were like, it's in the script.
This is the story.
It's
the Flash.
convenient. We've got to create drama, that type of thing.
Oh.
They're gonna take over Earth because that's what happens in these kind of stories. It's always Earth.
See, if work was done to actually give us reasons why it has to be Earth, I'd be okay with that.
Like, oh, they can only breathe in this atmosphere, but that's kind of.
But that's
wouldn't-
contradictory. So, maybe it's we need.
They need this.
Maybe it's like, you know how like Earth is like the optimum distance from the sun to actually propagate life. That could have been the reason.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't matter
Yeah,
what
that
solar
would
I
make
system
can get
is.
behind that.
Yeah, so he could have been like, it doesn't matter what solar system is, it has to be these specific coordinates from this from the center of the galaxy that even we need to exist in. So Earth is the perfect planet for us to habit. We just need to terraform it so that we don't choke to death when we're born.
Yeah.
That could have been a reason, but we're not given any of that.
No, it's just because it looks cool.
Yeah. So in theory, I could have been okay with this moment. In execution, I'm not, because I don't have reasons. That kind of sucks.
Yeah. Boo. We like reasons in our films, damn it.
Well, at least the attempt at a reason.
Yeah. Some kind of explanation would be fine, and then it'd be like, oh, you tried.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
So the conversation at that point would be, oh, was the explanation well executed or not? And if it's consistent or not. So that's a different conversation we can have. So yay.
Wahoo.
Visually, I do like the terraforming scenes, you know, with the pulsing going up and down. It's VV cool.
I really like that as well.
I thought it was good. I was like, oh dang.
Yeah, like it's such a shame because from a superficial level, I love the visuals and the music, but the writing really does cripple underneath, and as a result of that, I can't enjoy it as much as I would love to. So, Zod decides to go to Clark's ship, you know, to pick up the Matrix babies. All the while, the military is going, oh, hey, do you know what? They're actually changing the planet, and that's not really good for us. And this is the first instance we hear people refer to Clark as Superman.
Yep.
He said it.
They're calling him Superman now.
And it's so casual as well. It's like, oh yeah, it's like, I've got the Colonel online, and he's got Superman with him. And it's like, Superman? The alien, that's what
Who's
they're calling him.
I mean, it beats the alien.
Oh god, yeah, they were calling it. I was thinking, what the fuck does alien have to do with any of this? It's like,
Yeah, they're just
The
referred to
xenomorph
as the
just
alien.
comes out of nowhere.
oh, like I'd be up for Superman fighting a xenomorph.
I think that would be an interesting battle.
There would be.
I
I'd be
really
like,
don't.
How would he deal with the
I
acid?
don't think it would last long, but it'd
Yeah,
be
like
interesting.
it'll be a quick fight, but you know, like okay,
It would be interesting to see how the alien would attack Superman, but you know,
As
pretty
an
quick
alien would.
overall.
straightforward.
It would be like the scene where he gets the thing wrapped around him, like, you know, the tentacle machine thing that he first finds. It'd be like
with
that,
the tail.
but with the alien mouth, the little mouth coming out, and he'd just be like, "Get the hell off me! What you doing?"
Just smack it with the backhand.
Yep.
Oh my god. Speaking of backhands,
I'd watch that.
have you guys seen Rock and Roller by Guy Ritchie?
I haven't, no.
Amy?
I have seen bits of it, but it was a long
Oh.
time ago.
Fair. Because Mark Strong is in it with hair, and that's disturbing.
Legend.
But
that is pretty strange because I think I've only I think the majority of films that I've seen with Mark Strong is where he's got no hair.
yeah, because
So that is a strange image now that I'm thinking about
I
it.
think there's two I've seen of him with hair. One is Stardust, and
He
the
does
other,
have hair in Stardust, yeah.
yeah, and the other is Rock and Roller. But there's this recurring gag in Rock and Roller where it's like he plays a character called Archie, and is famous for having a really strong backhand. And there's this one scene where he's teaching one of his henchmen to actually do a proper backhand while repeatedly smacking another henchman. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? And that's the first thing I thought of when I just pictured Superman backhanding an alien. But yes, they are terraforming, and it turns out that the planet is to create a black hole above Metropolis. And I'm not gonna lie, that's a bad idea.
But
Because it's a black hole.
Just a little bit.
just a tiny bit.
Yeah, and I'm like you've got Superman there. Like you could just destroy the ships, but Then again, because the world building in this is kind of crap at the moment, like we were talking about yesterday, if there was a massive detriment that occurs when Kryptonians are exposed to the Earth's atmosphere and it's a long-term debilitating effect, then you could have done something with that. But that's not the case because it only takes Zod a couple of seconds to get over it, and I'm like, oh, like, I can see how you tried to make it work, but none of it's working as intended, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And I think we talked about it yesterday as well, with Superman going, oh, take a step back, whereas earlier he just kind of went, rip Lois, just
Yeah.
boom.
I was like, why? Why now has she got to take a step back?
Yeah.
If you want to argue, you took off a lot quicker and might have like injured her the last time because you were in a hurry and it was out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's...
And also, she was about to kiss you, dude.
I think we've already covered the point of the romance in this
Yeah.
film is absolute garbage tier.
Yeah, it's not great at all, and you know, I love the actors involved, but it doesn't really come across in this film.
Yeah, it's
No.
like we've got two
The
attractive
romance, at
characters.
least.
Yeah, very unfortunate. But then right after that, very superficially, I do like how he breaks the sound barrier.
That's cool.
That is cool.
So, and then we come right back to Metropolis with all the destruction. And Zod finally
Yep.
departs to find the Genesis Chamber. Oh my god. But he leaves Faora in charge. Yay. More Faora. I'm all for this.
Yay.
Like,
Me
she's
too.
an incredibly two-dimensional character, but I'm just so on board with Faora.
The interesting thing about her is that, like you say, that she's two-dimensional, but she fully serves the role that she has in the film,
Yeah.
and she knocks it out of the park.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She's
like,
super badass.
she's got a very high cool factor. That's about the only thing that's got going for her.
She got the rule of cool.
Oh my god, like, she is a terribly written character, but my god, she is entertaining to watch.
Yeah. Don't disagree.
So, yeah. He decides to leave, and we get the carrier plane. I can't remember what it's actually called. Fuck. But they're carrying Superman's pod, and for some godforsaken reason, Lois Lane is there, and I'm like, why?
Yeah. Like, why is she there? Like, I'm very confusion. Is it because she knows how to do it? But couldn't she have just said, you stick this thing in that hole?
And make sure it goes all the way in.
Yeah. I feel like she was literally just there. Her face. I feel like she was literally just there to be like, it's not supposed to do that.
Yeah, literally, that's the only reason why she was there, and to add unnecessary relevance to her in the
Yeah.
story. Like, it's
could've-
incredibly forced.
Yeah, we could have had the same thing happen where she was on the phone to someone and they're like, it's not going all the way in, and she could have been like, yeah, it's not supposed to do that.
I mean, like, that's just repetition
Same
of what
thing
they
would
could have
have
had
been
earlier anyway, so there's really no reason for her
Yeah.
to be... Like, if she was in the command center alongside fucking Harry Lennox, that's one thing. You know, but it's not.
Yeah.
I do understand wanting to have Lois in the heat of the action and trying to get her more involved in the plot. But I do totally get what you guys mean as well about it just not really fitting in with the rest of the film, really.
Yeah, it just makes like kind of zero sense.
Like, the purpose that she has been attributed and the relevance she has in the scene are at odds with each other.
Yeah. She's just kind of there for the sake of it, is kind of what I felt.
Yeah.
And it kind of hurts her character a little bit.
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say it hurts her character. It's just it relegates her character from someone important to a bystander, I guess is what I would say.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
because nothing really hurts her character in a negative way, she's just not doing anything, which is very different.
Yeah, I guess so.
Like, okay, so
Nothing. She doesn't really get much. She doesn't really get a lot to do of relevance to
Yeah.
the plot at this point in the film, does she?
Exactly.
It's like you say, she's just a bit of a bystander, and I get that. Like she's human, but I feel as though there's a human quality that she could have brought to the film that just
Yeah.
wasn't really present.
yeah, exactly.
Like the humans fighting back, and I get that. That's what the scene was trying to do, but I feel as though it could have been done a little better.
Yeah. It's like the scene where they're like, you have to come on the ship with us. And it's like, but why?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, why though?
Why does she have to come with you?
But I would have much rather preferred if she was with Swanwick and she was like
Yeah.
the one keeping the record of what happened kind of thing going on. But then again,
Yeah.
like, it's just so that she has a first-hand account of something going on, and she was involved to begin with. So that could have been a little bit more logically sound in my head. But even then, like, why would she be there to begin? Like, Lois is incredibly irrelevant from the moment after the interrogation cell scene.
I feel as though there's a way that they could have written the character better in the film, because you do want her to have an active role in the film. But I can't really think at this present moment what they could have done.
It would have to be a different film.
Yeah.
Not this one, because the sheer amount of carnage that happens in the final hour of this film, or the second half of this film, there is no room for Lois Lane. Now, for example, if she was one of the bystanders at the planet alongside Perry, that's something you could have worked with.
Yeah.
Because you could have seen how she's not willing to leave her co-workers behind, and how she's willing to save others at the expense of her life. Like, so you could have gotten the human aspect at the ground level going on alongside the military aspect and then the Superman aspect. So you got the three tiers all covered in that sense.
Yeah, that would have worked.
But we didn't.
No,
there's
we
actually a
get her
comic.
right up in there.
There's actually a comic which this film is very reminiscent of, called Superman Earth 1. And in that one, that's where I got the idea for. That's where the suggestion came from, because Lois and Jimmy are on the streets of Metropolis while all this carnage is going on, and they're just trying to save people the entire time. And it was so cool reading it rather. But here she's in the plane with the military bros, just like their moral support, I guess. Regardless, we now come to Zod mastering his senses in about 2 seconds.
Yep.
Yeah, it's really weird how quickly he adjusts.
Yeah. Because that kind of just throws my argument that, clearly Clark's been going through this for years, and that's how his mum's able to help him. This part of the movie just kind of goes, nah.
Yeah, it's very
Nah,
contradictory
you're fine in
information.
2 minutes afterwards.
Yeah, because if it was actual years that it took and he had to keep his mask on the entire time, that would give you an option of disabling Zod long enough so that you can imprison him, and B, it would give them actual reason on, okay, do you know what? We don't want this pain long term, especially when you're newborn like you, Clark. We want a decent life without pain, ideally.
Could you then argue maybe it's down to the fact that Zod's a full a full-fledged adult, and
Yeah, I was thinking that as well.
like Clark was a baby, so obviously maybe that's why it took him longer. I don't
Like
know.
they tried
Yeah,
to
because
explain
he
it.
was fully developed. He was fully developed, whereas Clark was still growing.
Okay, so
Yeah.
they do try to explain it in the sense that, oh, it's mastering your senses kind of thing, because that's what happens when Zod learns how to fly. And it's like, where did
Yeah.
you learn on our farm moment? But,
Yeah.
see, if it was me, I would make the effects far harsher. Like, exposure to the Earth's atmosphere for a prolonged amount of time for an adult Kryptonian would mean death. I would make the
That's fair.
stakes that high, because then it's not just the newborns that they have to worry about going through years of pain. If they slip up, then they all die, which makes the terraforming that much more of a necessity. Whereas here, it's like, oh, 20 seconds, bro, you'll be chill. It's like, oh, okay. Kind
Yeah,
of weird.
it's like just sit it out and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
It kind of makes the effects not seem that horrific, because like the idea of someone having to go through that for years is horrible. It's a
Definitely.
horrible
Yeah.
thought.
So my logic behind an adult Kryptonian dying upon exposure for a prolonged amount of time is because they're already accustomed to the Kryptonian atmosphere. So to change to Earth atmosphere, it might be too much of a shock to the body that no matter how powerful the sun is, it might not be enough, and it could just biologically kill them because of the conflict of, oh hey, sun's giving us power, but our body's breaking down because of Earthisms. So that contradiction in environment and power levels could end up what kills them. Whereas when you're young, you're still developing, you're still growing, you're getting accustomed. So that could be a reason. So there are multiple ways you could have handled this, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Oh. God
Pick
damn it.
one or the other. It lasts longer or it doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just consistency, please.
Yeah, either make it last longer or do a Superman 2 and just go instantaneous. There you go, let's go.
Yeah.
Oh, Superman 2. I really like Superman 2. So good.
I really like Superman 2 as well.
I haven't watched it in a long time, but I liked it when I watched it.
Oh, the original two Supermans with Christopher Reeve. Oh,
He-
absolute
The whole
treasures.
they're so wholesome.
Hmm.
They are.
So yeah, Zod is in the ship and has a conversation with our very own Duracell. Haha. It's a conversation about, oh hey, you can't do this. Please don't, Zod. And Zod just going, nah 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 nah. I'm gonna do it anyway.
It's like, you're dead, so how you gonna stop me?
Hmm.
I think this could have been another one of those moments that we were talking about, where we said that we could have had like a Xavier and Magneto style conversation
Oh, yeah.
between Zod and Jor-El.
Could have.
Yeah, because when you really think about it, they both, in the grand scheme of things, want the same thing, but are going about it in very different ways. So we could have had a parallel to the opening scene. God damn it! Yeah, you're right. Fucking hell.
And then you could have even seen like something staring in the back of Zod's mind, but then he just goes like full heel in the
Yeah.
end.
Hmm. But that would require Zod to have some amount of nuance to begin with, which he
That's
really
true.
didn't have, unfortunately.
That's true.
No, he's just straight up evil in this movie.
Like, that's the thing. There were instances where there was some amount of like the moment when he it's skipping forward a little bit, but the moment when he terminated Duracell's authority from the ship, there was this one moment of, oh, I fucking lost Duracell now. Like, there was a slight amount of regret, and I'm like, okay, so it's there.
That would've
It's
been good,
so
but-
surface level though.
Yeah.
their friendship could have done with a lot of development, because that could have been so fascinating to explore.
Definitely.
Absolutely, and I do think that it is interesting, the idea that you can completely get why he would want to save his people. Of course, there is people, but it's the way that he's going about it that you're like, no, don't do that.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
going about it in the most roundabout way he could possibly go about it, and it makes no sense. Like, it's almost like you've got an itch on your left ear, but you're reaching around over the back of your head with your right hand to scratch your left ear, and it makes no sense.
Yeah.
I don't know why I did the motions here. It's not like you guys can actually see me.
Don't worry,
Oh.
I do that sometimes.
It's okay. I wave at you guys and do hand gestures, and I'm like, they can't see me.
Yeah. Oh well. And next, we got a battle that goes for way too long. In fact, this battle goes for so long that it should have ended within 5 seconds, which is Clark versus the tentacle ship.
Yeah.
Because how does it end? Clark busts right through it. How should it have started? Clark busting right through it.
Yeah.
So, Clark, you idiot. By
What
you
you doing,
not
man?
doing the obvious thing, you have condemned a couple of million people to death. You fucking moron.
Good job, dude.
Oh, but it's like the this is why I'm like, I'm not even in the camp of like, oh, Clark should have just saved everyone, no blanket statement. No, but the biggest problem I have with Clark in this film now is just every time the answer is staring him in the face, he chooses not to utilize that answer.
Yeah.
Just like Zod.
Maybe it's a Kryptonian thing.
Maybe I was just thinking
Maybe.
that.
like we've said, they are a bit dumb in this movie.
Oh, it's maybe being dumb is a Kryptonian gene. Jesus Christ. Okay, so while Clark is taking on the tentacles, we got the fighter jets taking on the ship. And after the first wave of missiles going haywire and ships and the planes going all over the place, that should have been the first clue of, right, this isn't gonna work. Let's hold off, because if not, we're gonna kill our own people. Which they
A
do!
little bit.
Oh. Like, they're constantly doing the same thing over and over again, and it makes no sense. And there was one where it releases a missile, and it wasn't anywhere near the Kryptonian ship. It just launched a missile, hit a building in the complete opposite direction, and crashed into it. And I'm like, what the fuck's going on? Oh, it is. This battle is, logically speaking, it's actually kind of nonsensical and kind of hard to believe that it's actually a thing.
It's just chaos.
Yeah.
Also, why are the people waiting till now to evacuate? Like,
I
why?
mean, that's
Yeah.
a very good question.
That is also a very good question.
People
It's
should
like,
be running.
that's a big ship right there. You might want to run. That's never a good thing, really. Like, I can't ever go, oh, there's a spaceship right there. That's a good thing. I'd be like, I'm out of here. Bye.
Like, it's not even that. It's like, okay, a ship comes down, you're curious, fine. The initial curiousness, I'm okay with that. But after, like, it levels 5 or 6 buildings, you think, maybe we should get away
Yeah, I'm
from
gonna
here.
go. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, oh no, they're not friendly. Bye bye.
Like, when you really think about it, this final battle, well, the penultimate battle in this film, is so artificially extended because everyone is doing the wrong thing according to logic.
It's like, we've got to create conflict, so let's just throw everything at the wall.
Yeah. Like,
God.
I'm all for sometimes characters doing illogical things, but if
Okay.
it makes sense to them as a character, not like if it's just like, oh, it's convenient for the plot for them to do this really dumb thing.
Okay, so an example of that, Captain America Civil War.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. But okay, so when Tony finds out that Bucky killed his parents, and he just goes apeshit and goes, do you know what? He still fucking killed my mom. I'm gonna kill Bucky.
Yeah.
That makes sense. In character, in world, it all makes sense. That's why, like, he cared about his mom. He's the only parent that he really cared about and loved beyond, before he actually found out about his dad and stuff like that. So, no, and there's the added level of Cap actually kept that information from him to begin with.
Yeah.
So there's the betrayal of his quote unquote best friend, and also seeing the person that killed his parents, regardless of the control that he was under, standing right in front of him. So all of it makes sense.
Absolutely.
I really want to watch Civil War now. We've praised Civil War so much of this DC arc.
We should watch it and talk about it.
I was thinking of going through a Marvel arc afterwards.
Yes.
So yeah, maybe we could start at the very, very start with X-Men and go all the way through one X-Men, one Marvel, one X-Men, one Marvel. Well,
Ooh, that would be interesting. Give us lots to talk about.
yeah.
Honestly, I'd be happy to go right through X-Men right off the top.
Yeah, I'm down for that. I haven't watched X-Men in so long.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
I remember walking out of Dark Phoenix with Dylan.
I did not watch Dark Phoenix, so
It was less than good.
That's fair. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't really that fussed when I saw a trailer for it, so I was just like, maybe I'll watch it one day. But I wasn't like, I'm going to the cinema to see that. I was just like, maybe one day.
I was far more negative than you were, wasn't I?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I think the reason why was because I heard so many bad things about Dark Phoenix that by the time I watched it, I was like, oh, it's actually better than I thought it was gonna be. Like, because my expectation for it was like -100, but it ended up being like, oh, it was only -50. That's not too bad.
Whereas I was like, I did not like that.
Oh, don't get me wrong, it is a very stupid film. So
Fair.
I think the only X-Men film I haven't actually seen is New Mutants, and I have no desire to see that piece of shit.
I haven't seen it either.
Oh.
No. I've seen all of them apart from Dark Phoenix and New Mutants.
I
Also,
intend to watch it someday, but I'm not in any rush.
yeah.
As
Okay.
much as I love the cast.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Because you got Anya Taylor-Joy, you've got
Oh yeah, I forgot you was in that.
Alice Braga, Maisie Williams, Charlie Heaton. It's a pretty decent cast, like especially like Anya Taylor-Joy and Alice Braga. But yeah, I can't say that I'm in any rush to see New Mutants.
Oh my god, you know what I just realized? If we're going to go
What's that?
through all the X-Men films in a row, just blasting through them week after week, that means we get to talk about Logan. I fucking love Logan.
Oh yes,
It also means I actually have to watch it now because I haven't watched it still.
Oh my god, that's
It's
the
a
best
good-
X-Men film.
yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. I agree.
Oh, it's so, like, genuinely, like, if you like The Last of Us, if you like that dad and daughter relationship, watch Logan. Do yourself a favor. Just like Marvel at cinematic completion.
James Mangold did a great job with that.
Oh my god, it was so good.
I do really like James Mangold as a director. He doesn't hit all the time, but you know, like
I love
like,
Kate and Leopold.
Then he does also hit very hard. Like
Oh my god, Ford v
Logan.
Ferrari was so good.
I loved Ford v Ferrari.
Like, Christian
or
Bale
Le
was
Mans-
so good.
Was it Le Mans 66? Is that what it was called in the UK?
Yeah, it was. Which
yeah,
is
Yeah.
I think so.
yeah. But my god, that film was so good, and Christian Bale stole the entire film. It was so good.
definitely, and I Walk the Line as well.
Oh my god,
Really,
yeah. Kate and
uh,
Leopold. Don't knock Kate and Leopold. That was a pretty wholesome little story.
I haven't seen it. I've just heard things.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either. I've just
Hugh
heard.
Jackman being a time-traveling nobleman?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
He's also doing the next Indiana Jones, I believe.
Well, I'm
might
not
have
holding
that
my
wrong.
breath.
Like, if it does happen, I believe he's set to direct.
I'm not holding my breath. I'll just say that.
Okay.
Because wasn't it supposed to come out 2 years ago?
Oh yeah, but so is the Flash. And that's apparently like sets being built for so is Justice League Mortal. Is that what it was called?
Justice
the George
League
Miller
Mortal,
film?
yeah, that was.
Yeah, like that was having sets built. But
That was like a
cast
week away
flew
from
over.
production or something like that. Something mental.
Yeah, the cast flew over, and then it was like, it's not happening anymore. Go back home. Jay
well.
Baruchel was going to play Maxwell Lord.
Yeah, and Armie Hammer and Henry Cavill were supposed to play Batman and Superman respectively, if I remember correctly.
Adam Brody was the Flash, I believe. And DJ Caruso, who was also one of the Shazam siblings. He wasn't he going to be Superman?
Sure.
Maybe if I or maybe Henry Cavill was in contention for that Superman as well. I could just be getting that wrong.
I believe DJ Caruso was cast in the film as Superman, and
that would make sense.
Armie Hammer was Batman. I do know that.
Yeah.
But aside from Adam Brody, I'm not quite sure about the rest of the cast.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look that up.
Oh my god. Yeah, so back to this film. The next thing we get is the tentacle fight, and then back to destruction. Oh fucking hell! So this is a pretty stupid thing. So Perry and Jenny and all of them are on the streets at this point, and they are running from a falling building. Now, this is something that annoyed me in Prometheus, and it's something that annoys me in every other film. When something is falling towards you, don't run away from the direction it's falling towards. Run to one of the sides. It's a lot faster to get away from it. But they eventually run to the side, so...
They went to the Prometheus school of running away from things.
Oh my god, Prometheus was a ride.
I only ever watched it the once.
Me too, and that was enough.
Yeah, I watched it at a really bad point because I was pregnant when I watched it, and I was like,
oh my god,
this was a bad idea.
But you know what? I watched Alien Covenant twice in the cinema because I went with 2 different groups of people, and I hated it the once, and I despised it the second time.
Oh no.
Why would you do that to yourself?
I just never watched it because I was like, I'm probably not gonna like it.
It's garbage tier. My god, it was bad. Although, that being said, it did have one good thing that came out of it. That Alien Covenant had the inspiration towards our slidey shot in Chrysalis when they were having the big emotional breakdown.
Oh, woohoo!
That's the only thing of significance that film has ever contributed to society.
Okay, so I found the cast for Justice League Mortal.
Oh my god.
Armie Hammer was Batman. Megan Gale was Wonder Woman. DJ Catrona, that's his name. He was gonna play Superman. I don't know where I got DJ Caruso from.
Fast and the Furious, I think.
Then Adam Brody was Flash. Hugh Keys Ben, who's in the Mad Max films. He was going to play Martian Manhunter. And then Santiago Cabrera was apparently going to play Aquaman. And then Common was going to play Green Lantern. I don't know if I'm reading the right thing, but like apparently that's That's what I found anyway.
Fair enough. I would have been interested to see a common Green Lantern, John Stewart, I mean, but I'd be interested to see that. Right. On that note, we are on the scene now of Duracell and Zod talking about removing authority and birthing Krypton kids. Like, it's...
Nice.
This is a pretty chunky scene, all things considered, but when you really think about what they're talking about, it's really of not great significance when you really think about it, because it's a repetition of what they've always been arguing about rather than an expansion of it.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, why are you arguing again?
About the same thing, the same context, the same everything.
Because why not?
Because it says so in the script.
Exactly.
Do you know what? I'm going to look for something. I want to see if Lois Lane gets the USB chip out of the ship when she's leaving.
I don't think she does.
I'm not too sure.
Because why? If she doesn't, why not? That would be a very stupid thing to do. Going through it. Oh my god, I can't play things right away because of copyright, and it fucking sucks. Oh my god. Because I was thinking, if she does take the USB chip with her, then they could just boot up Jor-El whenever they wanted, and like there would really not be any issue with Zod deleting him from Clark's ship to begin with. So that's why I really want to know if she takes the USB chip or not.
I don't think she does.
Oh my god, she does! She does take it!
Oh, she does. Okay.
Oh my god, okay, so she does take it. So now we know that that Duracell is able to be in two different ships at the same time and not have any issues with it. So why is this big emotional thing going on where, oh my god, Duracell is gone, when they can just reinstall him later? This is
Very good question.
like, oh, that whatever emotional stability was there in this scene is absolutely decimated when when you find out that they could just, much like an antivirus, you could just reinstall the software. Oh, that's sad.
Yeah, it is.
Well, after that, Zod takes the ship and heads towards Metropolis. Yay! And Superman
Because of course he would.
and Superman is having a bit of a moment with the tentacle. And I
You
don't
just
mean...
can't catch a break.
I know, right? And it gets so bad that he gets flung into the core of the beam. And that's not good, because that's the very center of Krypton atmosphere things going on in this transformation process. So that's very bad for Clark.
Definitely.
And then we go, oh my god, and then we go to Lawrence Fishburne and SVU trying to save Jenny from under the rubble, and I'm just here wondering, how did she get under there in the first place when the two of you are fine?
That's a really good question.
Oh, like, I guess we needed to have humans trying to save each other somehow. I mean, it's not like you're in a setting where that allows for it to happen organically. You gotta force it to happen, I guess. Oh my god, it's... And there are no answers for these as well. That's the worst part.
It's just like, well, this happens.
We are bursting through this film, by the way. We've got like 20 minutes left.
Oh, really?
Nice.
Wow.
Okay, so
We're doing well.
We are.
I'm not gonna lie, the visual of Clark standing up in the beam is kind of cool.
I
But
do
again,
like that.
it's very superficial though, and I'm like, oh my god,
It is.
I want something of substance, please.
It's like, ooh, look. Pretty.
Now, if you really wanted to have this visual, so this is assuming that we're taking this scene in isolation without any of the context around it, because we already explained that this fight should have been over 10 minutes ago. But if we had to have this visual and he has to stand up and fly across something, maybe this could have been a singular beam in Metropolis. But no, then different mechanics come into account. Fucking hell. Anyway, the point I was making is, while he's standing up, rather than having the choir come in and shit like that, what if it's just sound design from the environment, and then it kind of fades away until it's just Clark in his head, and then if you really want to have the theme of, oh, you're not ready from one dad, and then the other dad going, you can do it, bro. Like, maybe have like reused lines from Jonathan Kent starting out as he's standing up, going, oh, the world's not ready for you, Clark. And then the line that could get him to fly up towards the world engine could have been like Jor-El going, you can save all of them. And that moment could have been like a metaphorical shift in his mentality where he is ready, shoot up, destroy the thing, and then go back to Metropolis pronto.
I think that would have been really awesome.
Alas, that would require major shifts in the script in order for it to work, though. And I'm like, fucking hell.
Maybe they thought the symbolism would be too much.
Symbolism and metaphor. Oh. Anyway. The point is, he does what he should have done in the first place. And I kind of like the fact that Perry is willing to... Perry and Lombard are just there with Jenny the entire time, going, alright, we're gonna stay with you, don't worry, we're staying, we're with you, we're all gonna die anyway, so let's all die together kind of thing going on. So I do like the camaraderie there. Again, it's just a shame it's all standing on fucking a deck of cards standing up. It's just,
It's so fragile.
It's like a
Like,
house
oh
of
no,
cards,
you-
literally.
You're gonna fall down.
We know these people exist, so we've got to put them in some kind of peril.
I know, right? It's like in screenwriting 101, it's like, oh, hey, you gotta put your characters into tough positions. But it's like, I feel like David S. Goyer stopped at that point and then just refused to read the rest of the chapter where it explains the name of the chapter. But yeah, Superman does what he should have done 10 minutes ago, and the terraforming stops. Yay! So now it's all about creating the black hole above Metropolis.
It's like situation upon situation upon situation in one ginormous climax to the film.
Very much so. My biggest issue with it is the fact that they're really okay with creating a fucking black hole over an Earth city. Have you seen Interstellar?
Well, in their defense, Interstellar came out a year later.
Okay, fine. Have you seen the Discovery Channel then? Plenty of documentaries. Michio Kaku goes into great depth about it.
Sorry, I had to do that. Having
Oh,
said that, Christopher Nolan was on board, so it
this
is
is
on
true. This is very true. Oh my god. Oh, Interstellar's a story for another time. That film is so fucking broken in so many areas. I like it, don't get me wrong. I like Interstellar, but it's
It's very
so
pretty.
broken.
It's very pretty.
It's just like Tenet. It's very pretty, but when you think about it, it all falls apart.
And can you hear it? Can you hear it?
Oh my god. Like, my dad was telling me. Oh, sorry.
I was just saying, oh no.
My dad was actually telling me a story of there was a message he got on like one of the group chats he's in, and one guy just went, "My ad's broken," and my dad just went, "Did you see Tenet?" It's like, how the fuck did you know?
I've still yet to see it.
Same.
I've heard things about it, but that's about it.
Same.
I would say it's. I would recommend watching it because it is a very different film compared to what we ordinarily do get. So in terms of creativity, there is a lot to admire about it, but
Yeah.
narratively, it's I think it's what scholars today call fucking broken.
Okay.
Um,
Scholars like swearing a lot these days, don't they?
My
I
scholars
noticed
do.
that as well.
Oh God, could you imagine me being a lecturer in uni? You know, it's like, all
Just
right,
in a lecture.
fuckers, let's get
I
on
think
with
you'd
it.
shock all of the students.
You would. You'd be in a lecture and you'd be like, "This, people, is what we call fucking broken," and they'd all just be like, "What?"
It would be like, wait, what? I didn't know there'd be swearing in here.
Oh God, like that's probably the only reason why I wouldn't get a teaching job at uni. Just the constant swearing at people.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, let's not.
They'd get to a board meeting and they'd be like, "Yeah, he just swears all the time."
I'm like, do the kids get the work done? Yes or no, bitch? It's like, oh Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good point.
That is a good argument.
Yeah, like if they're doing well because of it, I'm all for it, you know.
I mean, as long as you're not insulting.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
like like I have a simple requirement: just don't be stupid. It's not hard. Then again, I am prone to stupidity as well, so. But I expect better from others. But oh yeah, fucking Man of Steel. We're almost done. Right. So they're preparing the whatchamacallit, the sperm tank, that Clark came in, and Clark
Yeah.
is getting recharging his batteries by absorbing the sun. So yeah. Then we got the next piece of conflict going on with the thing not going in, and I'm like, okay.
That's what she said.
Oh my God, you said it instead of me for once.
Uh-huh.
Oh my God, I have an effect on people. You come down to my level.
I mean, normally I would say title of your sex tape because I've just been watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine quite a lot lately. But I was like, change it up.
Variety is the spice of life, I heard.
Yes. But yeah, it doesn't go in, like Lois tells us.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently it's not supposed to do that.
My God, like there a lot happens, but at the same time it could have really been trimmed down so much to just the bare bones essentials, and you wouldn't lose anything. But Zod is back and he's about to shoot the ship, and Clark comes and okay, so this very brief interaction between Zod and Clark is so out of nowhere, because Clark is appealing, Zod rather, is appealing to, you're gonna destroy Krypton if you destroy this ship. And I'm like, motherfucker, you haven't earned that line at all in this film. Because you've been a genocidal fucking freak this entire time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and now Clark, for some godforsaken reason, just goes, Krypton had his chance, and proceeds to just demolish the ship. And I'm like, holy shit, Clark! Like,
As you do.
at this point, we have wholeheartedly abandoned the pacifist route in this film.
Yeah. We've tried really hard to be pacifist, and now it's like, I just want to murder everything.
Yeah, it's like, holy
Which is a
shit.
mood.
You know? Like, Clark just condemned all of Krypton. And I'm like, holy shit. And then later on, he's so broken up about the fact that he had to kill the
Yeah.
last Kryptonian. And I'm like, none of this is earned.
No. It makes no sense.
I mean, in Clark's defense, like, well, maybe not defense, but like, they're not exactly. No. I don't know where I'm going with that.
Not exactly sport.
I
It's
guess...
like it's like one of those where they're either gonna kill if he doesn't stop them, they're gonna kill everyone on the planet.
Okay, so that's predicated upon the assumption that all of the fetuses are all going to be under Zod's command.
That's very true. That's very true. I take it back.
So, if we're going to be following on with this film's theme of nature or nurture, then Clark should be giving these unencoded fetus babies a chance. But he condemns all of Krypton wholesale because of Zod. And he himself should
that's
be the
true.
prime example of, no, nurture can work.
I hadn't even taken into consideration that.
That's alright. I mean, I've got the visual in front of me, so it really helps me. So,
I was focusing on Zod and his crew, and I was like, well, it's not exactly the best leaders that a new
Yeah.
Krypton could have.
so for example, if he demolished Zod's ship specifically, I'd be perfectly alright with that.
Yeah,
I'd
absolutely.
have an issue with him saying Krypton had his chance, but at least he's destroying the right people. In a weird way.
Yeah, like the bad guys. I think I think they could have maybe handled it a better way, like maybe sending. Actually, no. Don't they all get thrown into the Phantom Zone or something?
After they collide, yeah.
Yeah,
With the exception of Zod, for some reason.
had to have a climactic battle
Oh,
on
God,
top
yeah.
of the climactic battle.
But, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, maybe he could have sent them into the Phantom Zone without destroying the ships.
Possibly. But that would be... Again, we need to switch some things over and have the plane that is going to collide with the Phantom Drive in the first place to be a lot closer than it is. Which, in actuality, it is. So maybe Clark could have tried to fight Zod instead of destroying the ship and, you know, like, could have pinned Zod down and could have escaped in the last moment or some shit like that. But at least he hasn't killed everyone. But then again, how's he going to get back into the Phantom Zone to save all the kids later on? It's like, there are
That's
so many
true.
issues created, like, even us trying to fix it creates issues in the context of the rest of the film.
I think a lot of it is predicated upon it's Superman's first day.
Yeah.
I mean, true, but in context, like this is your first time working in McDonald's, and in your first day, you burnt your coworker with the with the chip fries. You
It's not a
missed
good look.
multiple customers,
Oh,
and
it's kind of like, should you be doing this job, really?
I know it's like you really should be doing this job. You're making all the wrong choices.
I
Case
feel
in
as though
point,
there was a
tentacle
way.
fight.
Sorry.
Oh no, go on.
I feel as though there was a way around the script where they didn't need to kill as many humans or aliens.
No, it's what we
Like
said earlier.
it feels so unnecessary. Like I get the destruction and I get that it's Superman's first day on the job, but I do feel as though there was a way around it, and maybe if it was even as simple as just sending all of Zod's crew into the Phantom Zone without killing.
Yeah, but it's like we said earlier with the tentacle fight. That fight should have lasted all of 5 seconds,
Definitely.
but it doesn't. So a lot of this final hour, well, I would say the final hour, is gratuitous action, and that's shocking coming from me because I'm all about the action.
Do you want to know what it kind of reminds me of?
Oh my, what?
It kind of reminds me of in Avengers Endgame when Captain Marvel comes to the rescue and just plows right through the ship. I feel as though Superman should have just been able to do that.
That's what Superman should have done, yes.
Yeah.
But oh my god, Captain Marvel is a whole other kettle of fish altogether.
Let's stick to Superman.
Yeah, my god, let's not go over there yet. Maybe in a year's time when we finally catch up to Marvel.
Yeah.
Or maybe the 50th could just be 24 hours of us catching up on Marvel. Oh, fucking hell, that would be an experience. Jesus.
That would be an experience.
Yep.
But yes, the big point is though, the Genesis Chamber is absolutely wrecked, and there cannot be any more Kryptonians unless Clark deserves to bump uglies with someone.
Yeah. Looking at you, Lois.
Come here. But but
Get over here.
oh my god, Scorpion, where have you been? But yeah, now Richard Schiff, being the smart person that he is, realigns everything.
Yeah.
But not before Faora comes along. Dun dun dun.
Doesn't a dude fall out of the plane or something and then you get a Wilhelm scream and I love it?
Yes, he does. And it's
I was
while
like, ah.
and it's all while he's telling Lois to get back inside because for some godforsaken reason she's at the edge of the plane.
Yeah, she's like, ooh. Fun.
Just no.
Like, lady, you gonna die.
Oh my god. But the reason why she's there as opposed to anywhere else in the plane is because she needs to fall off when they collide. Oh my god.
Yeah. She likes falling off things in this movie.
Jeez. But yeah, Faora, again, very superficial, but very cool. She just beats up the people. And this is an instance of plant and payoff I actually really like, because you get to see SVU and Faora just kind of, you know, SVU repeating the line that Faora said. It's like, a good death is its own reward. And it's like, oh my god, plant and
right.
payoff.
Yeah, that was a very good scene. I liked it.
Like, oh, that was neat. I like that.
Neat.
But yeah, it's such a shame that Richard Schiff dies in this film. I'm like, I would have been down for more of him in the future films.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I think that would have been really nice to have him
It would have
'cause
been cool.
He's such a wholesome actor. I just really like him in anything he's in.
in.
Like, even The Good Doctor, like, one of the reasons I really enjoyed the few episodes of The Good Doctor I watched was because of Richard Schiff. He's so good.
Isn't that with Bates Motel dude?
Freddie
Yeah.
Highmore, yeah.
Freddie Highmore, yeah.
He's very good in that show.
He is
I mean,
very good.
Freddie Highmore in general is very good, so...
I did enjoy him in Bates Motel.
I enjoyed season 1 of Bates Motel. Season 2, I'm like, I'm done.
I think I got around to season 4 and then I was like, I'm done.
Oh my.
I stuck with
Haven't
it for
seen
a while.
any of it.
Fair. But one of my favorite Freddie Highmore films is with Robin Williams called August Rush. And my god, it's such a good film.
Cool.
Yeah, it's got Kerry Russell in it. It's got Jonathan Rhys-Davies.
Awesome.
or Rhys Myers, Rhys Davies. I always get the two mixed up. Not Gimli, the guy
Not
from
Gimli.
Matchpoint.
Oh,
Jonathan Rhys Myers.
Rhys Myers.
Yeah.
Myers.
Yeah.
Rhys Myers.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very wholesome film. I recommend it. August Rush, it's good.
Awesome. I do remember watching The Good Doctor, and I did like it. I'm just very much like aware that it's a bit of an iffy portrayal of someone with autism, and that's kind of where I'm like, this makes me a bit uncomfortable.
No, fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, if that's your perspective on it, that's perfectly all right. Yeah, that's about all I can say, really.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I haven't seen it, but you also think about things like music, which I've heard
God.
awful things about.
Yeah.
music.
There's a film out called Music, and it has a very horrific portrayal of an autistic character. And it's just like, Sia, what are you doing? Stick to making music. Stop trying to make movies.
Oh, okay. So, David, which is the worst portrayal, Predator or Music?
I've only seen Predator. I haven't seen
Oh,
Music,
okay.
but I've heard abysmal things about Music.
Yeah.
Oh my God, 8%. Jeez.
I haven't seen it either, but I've heard horrible things about it. Like, I've heard like the scenes where this character with who is like non-speaking autistic is like restrained in a way that basically is just, no, you shouldn't ever do that, because it can like kill people and has killed people. So it's like, yeah, you shouldn't be putting that in a movie.
Top
There's
voted.
been a lot of controversy surrounding the film for a lot of different ways.
That's just one of them. There's
top-
way more.
The top voted tags for these reviews in the search engine are cringeworthy and unrealistic.
Yeah.
Sounds like a keeper, really. Oh my God. Jeez.
But yes, it's not a well-liked film.
As long as it's not like Cuties, I'll be fine. Like, I gotta give it to 2020. I didn't think I would find the line in terms of media that I wasn't willing to cross. But Netflix, you damn fuckers, you found that line, and that line is pedophilia. That is a line I'm not willing to cross. Shocking! Oh my God, Cuties, what a fucking abomination. I haven't watched it, I have no interest in watching it either.
No.
I have no intention.
No plans to watch it, whatever.
Just
why?
I've never felt so uncomfortable thinking about a film before.
I'm just like, Netflix, what is your damage?
And hearing
Do you
people
need
defend
therapy?
it grosses me out so much.
Ew, just no.
Anyway, Man of Steel, a much more cheerful
Yeah.
film.
Yeah.
So
Sorry for the tangent there.
That's fine. So they collide with the Kryptonian ship and suck everyone into the Phantom Zone. Now,
they do.
here, Lois Lane. Okay, so there are two ways you can think of this. A, only people who have been affected by the Phantom Zone can re-enter the Phantom Zone through this black hole. Or Lois Lane has some phenomenal plot armor right now. Because she's falling while everything else is being sucked up, including debris, cars, buildings, ships, everything. And I'm like, why is Lois falling? And I think there is a reason for it. It's just not in the film, so it doesn't count. But it's
She just likes falling
exactly
with style.
like
I do think there's a reason.
yeah, like if I remember correctly, the reason is exactly what I said in the first one. Like anything that has been touched by the Phantom Zone material is what re-enters it. But that's not explained in the film. And because we don't know that,
It's a guess.
plot hole. Which
Yeah.
means plot armor. Which means very, very bad.
Yes.
So, Superman gets Lois out of the way, and everyone's coming out of the debris, all covered in, well, debris. And they have a kiss, and I'm like, wrong place to have a kiss,
I mean,
guys.
yeah, you guys just nearly died, and also there's massive threat going on.
No, even beyond that, they are kissing on a mass grave, because that's where
Oh,
millions
that
of people
too.
died.
Yeah, that too.
This is like taking a selfie while doing a duck face in Auschwitz. You don't do that.
Yeah. Maybe not. And then she says the dumbest line ever. You know, it's all downhill from the first kiss. It's like, what? Why did you kiss him then? Why did you even say that?
It's a very weird line. I
What
have to
what
give it
is
that.
what even
Why?
is that line?
I know. I'm like, are you saying that you've avoided kissing him because you're like, oh, well, when I kiss you, everything's gonna go downhill? Like, why did you do it then?
It's a weird saying.
You
I've never
crazy
heard it before.
person. Neither have I. I was like, wait, who says that?
This is literally the only film I've heard that in, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh.
I was like, who says that? Did they need help?
Incels.
Oh yeah, well that would make sense.
That line, this kiss, this moment, everything about it is not good. That's all I'm
It's
gonna say.
just like, what is that supposed to be a romantic thing to say? And then he's like, I don't think it counts if you're kissing an alien.
Yeah,
Ugh.
because I'm an
Shit.
alien, bro. But the moment cannot last because Zod is back.
And he's not happy.
I mean, when is he ever at this point?
Yeah. He's just like, I am straight up not having a good time. I'm going to kill you, Superman.
And now he tries to be this emotional guy, just saying, "Oh, hey, look, like I tried to bring Krypton back, and you stopped me, and
You big douche.
you took my soul, so I'm gonna kill everything." And I'm like,
Did you have a soul
okay.
in the first place, though?
Exactly.
Really?
So if this was, if there is a little bit of nuance here, where it's Zod trying to come to a compromise, but the ultimate thing he like, rather than choosing to do it, if the thing that he has to do is terraform with all the stipulations that we've spoken about up until this point, if that's the only choice he has to make for Krypton or Kryptonians to live in some amount of peace, then I can kind
I'll
of
be
get
right
behind
back,
this
one sec.
line. Yeah, sure, no problem. Then I would be down for this moment. But it's so not earned because he was just willing to kill everyone in the first place anyway. So,
Yeah,
the fuck, Zod?
he's a maniacal villain.
Yes. He's Hitler, just not quite as smart. Because let's be honest, wiping out an entire race. Fucking hell.
Yeah.
But yeah, he tries to play the sympathy card, but doesn't get anywhere, and ends up punching Superman instead. Hey.
As you do. Or as he does.
Mm.
Yeah.
Now, I have no problem with what Zod says next, where I'm gonna take all these humans from you just like you killed my guys. I'm okay with that. What's surrounding that is not good. But I'm okay with that.
back.
Oh my god, hi.
Hello.
Hello.
But yeah, we're about to talk about the big Zod and Clark fight. But
Oh,
I was just
yeah.
gonna say, I'm just saying that I'm okay with Zod saying I'm gonna kill all the humans and then I'm gonna kill you. I'm fine with that. It's just that everything surrounding that moment is just not earned whatsoever, so it's just terrible.
Yeah.
Now, what he says is really interesting. I'm gonna kill all the humans. Cool. Now, if here's the biggest issue I have with this fight. Superman doesn't try hard enough to get the fight out of the city. He tries
Yeah.
once, and that's it. The rest of the time, he is using collateral damage to hurt Zod when he knows he can't. Now, if Zod was purposefully going after humans, and Clark is trying to protect the humans, I'm okay with that. Because
Yeah.
Zod is going after humans instead of Clark, whereas here, Zod is going after Clark, so he should have just gone away. Now, if Zod stayed behind and then started killing humans, okay, so we've got evidence for he can't just lead the fight away easily because he's just gonna change the target to the humans. But we're not given any of that context, so instead, they're just fighting each other in this big fucking metropolis, and there's loads of collateral damage and millions of people dying. Like, show us Clark trying, or show us Zod just ignoring Clark and killing humans and Clark trying to save them. Do one of the two. Don't do neither.
Yeah.
Do you guys have anything to add to that? I feel like I've just kind of ranted for a bit there.
No, not really. I agree with you. Like, it's just kind of, we just need to stay here and like break some shit, and it's kind of like, why? Like, I agree. Like, if there was a reason, like Zod was like, "Oh no, you're not getting away with it that easy. You're not gonna lead me away. Like, I'm gonna kill these people, and you're gonna watch." And then it'd be like, "Oh crap, right? Well, he has to stay and like obviously fight him now."
Yeah, and that could lead to
But,
him
no.
trying to physically beat Zod out. Oh my god.
Huh?
Oh, I thought you departed us.
No.
Hello.
But I was just saying, like, if after the instance of Superman realizing he has to try and get Zod out of the city, that would have been an interesting fight, because here's Superman trying to get Zod out while Zod is just taking a hit and killing people. Like, there are so many interesting ways to execute this fight, but it's not.
So,
With all that being said, it's a pretty cool fight.
yeah.
It's entertaining.
Yeah,
It
like,
does, it does remind me of like a pinball game though.
Yeah,
It's like
I
an
can see
anime.
that.
Kind of feels like.
it's like an anime fight.
I think it's one of those things where, as entertaining as the fight is,
Yeah, it's like,
because we've had like so much action in the second half of the film, it's just like,
it's the cherry
Okay.
on top.
It's just kind of like, oh look, more fighting.
But
like I'm a little tired at this point, but okay.
it's like John Wick 3. By the end, you're like, fuck, I'm exhausted, man.
Yeah, you're like, oh my god, does he not take a break
But
from all the shooting and beating people up?
that's the thing, though. Like, with this fight, like, what I was going to say is, fuck, it was related to narratives and shit like that. Okay, so from a superficial level, the fact that you've got two Kryptonians duking it out, it's a really fun fight to watch. But when you add the context, when you add the narrative layers, none of it supports this fight happening the way it
Yeah.
does. And because of that, while it may look very cool and very entertaining, it makes no sense. And makes Clark look like an even worse superhero.
A little bit.
So yeah. Beyond that, it's a cool fight, and there are some interesting tidbits in there, like Days without an accident hits it and it turns back to zero. It's like little bits like that I thought were really cool. And then Zod learning how to fly very easily, like, wasn't a fan of that. Like, again, power levels need to be managed in this kind of scene, and we've already spoken a lot on how to nerf the Kryptonians that have just arrived, so...
Yeah, absolutely. Because it's one of those things where you said that Clark was 33 years old in this film, right? Yeah. So Clark has been on Earth for like 33 years or so, and he's been gaining his abilities, trying to master them. He's only just learned how to fly, in his 33rd year, and then Zod's just like, I can do this.
Yeah.
And they try to hand wave it away with a throwaway line with him saying, I've trained my entire life to hone my senses. And I'm like, no. Because it's not just that. You've already established that the atmosphere has detrimental effects on your body, whereas the sun gives you nourishing effects. Like, do something with that, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. Instead of just being like, I have trained, so therefore I'm okay.
Yeah, I think, David, was it you who mentioned that it's... Or was it Tom who mentioned it's really cool that there's world building involved in terms of the auxiliary things like the Wayne satellite and the Lex Luthor truck and stuff like that? Was it you, David, or was it Tom who mentioned that?
That must have been Tom who mentioned
I think
that.
it was probably Tom.
In
I can't
his
remember.
epic
But yeah,
20-minute monologue.
I did like that, but I thought it was cool.
It just builds up the world and makes it feel a bit more lived in.
Yeah.
And I do like that, and that's one of the things I appreciate about all Marvel and DC projects that kind of do that same thing. Like, I think that's really cool to do that.
Yeah, like small Easter eggs where if you're paying attention, you get them. If not, it doesn't really hurt the film. It's just
I like them.
expands a lot. So yeah.
It's like I remember when I watched the first episode of The Flash, and they're on this runway and it's Ferris Air, and I'm like,
oh right. Did they ever bring a Green Lantern into the Arrowverse rather?
kind of not, maybe.
Oh.
No,
Oh,
maybe.
okay. Never mind.
Not been fully addressed yet.
Oh jeez, what? It's only been like 8 years.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of introduced in Arrow's last episode.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
then...
Don't tell me Oliver Queen's gonna be the Green Lantern.
Oh no, do you care about spoilers?
I mean, no. I don't care about the Arrowverse.
Oh, okay. Oliver dies in Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Oh yeah, I know that part. Yeah.
and Diggle supposedly finds a Green Lantern ring after it crashes not far from him.
Oh. Wasn't that like a year ago?
Yeah, but because of COVID, everything's kind of been delayed.
Right.
And,
I forget that's a thing. I don't know how, but I forget that sometimes.
Diggle is actually returning to the Arrowverse. Like, I think he's going to be in 3 or 4 of the shows.
Oh Jesus!
In the latter half of each of their seasons, so he's coming up. So they should probably address it then. Maybe, probably, most likely.
Fingers crossed, I guess.
Yeah. But yeah, the Easter eggs scattered throughout each of the films is really cool to connect them all.
But yeah, I am actually shocked by the amount of collateral damage in this film, though.
I'm surprised Metropolis is still there.
Like, oh my god, it's not destroyed in a pile of rubble.
Like, there's a Team America meme, but you know when they say it's 9/11 times 1,000?
Yeah.
That's this film. It's 9/11 times 1,000, literally, in the context of this world, at least. But now we come to Grand Central Station, or something that looks very close to Grand Central Station. And he's got Zod in a chokehold. Okay.
That bit.
And he's forced to choose between humans and Kryptonians. And if the rest of the film was up to par, we wouldn't even need this moment.
No.
He could have kept all the Kryptonians chained up somewhere in a jail. Not literally chained up, but in jail somewhere with... Well, we know they find kryptonite later on, so with kryptonite, because they'll have had time to find it, because they'll be reacting to the atmosphere in a really tismy way. So, there are so many ways where this particular narrative could have ended with the Kryptonians being held captive. rather than them all being dismissed into the Phantom Zone or with Zod being dead. But they wanted the big fucking Celestial team to come forward, so can't be having any of that logic shit in here now, can we?
Not really, no.
It's like, that's the thing, again, visually I like it. That's the thing, like, metaphorically speaking, it works. It's just that narratively none of it is supported. And plus, Henry Cavill's scream when he kills Zod is fucking incredible.
Oh yeah,
He's a really good actor.
very good actor.
Absolutely.
I was just very much like, I feel like this was just an excuse to have Superman kill someone, and also it was an excuse to introduce a trolley problem again.
It's a really poor, like, those were exactly it though. The goal was to have Zod killed, and the goal was to have a trolley problem. It's just that they're both so poorly executed.
Yeah.
Like, I'm one of those people, I'm fine with Clark killing if that is the only choice. No, it's not even a choice that if the only thing he can do is kill, then I'm fine with him killing. But don't make him kill when there are so many obvious ways he could have gotten around it, when there is so much evidence in this film that supports he could have gotten around it if the film was consistent.
There was a lot of controversy about this scene.
Yeah, there was, for good reason. But that's my face. But yeah, that's the thing. Like, I get what the creators were going for. It's very blatant. I get it. But the execution is what sucked. And if the execution was on point, I'm pretty sure there wouldn't have been a controversy. I reckon with an adequate level of writing, consistency, setup, with all of that working in tandem, I reckon we could have been on board with Superman killing someone.
I reckon there would have been a percentage of people who still would have been unhappy with that decision.
Oh yeah, like there always is, but like there wouldn't have been as big of a controversy, is what I'm trying to say.
I think you're right about that.
Yeah.
After that, he gives Lois a hug, and we go to a very fun scene, which is a bit of a contrast in tone.
It's a huge contrast. It's actually really jarring.
It's kind of comical how jarring it is, and it's a comical scene as well. It's weird.
It's like, I feel as though they're trying to set up like a Superman figure that we all know at this point, but at the same time, when you contrast that with the rest of the film, and in particular the previous scene, it's like, wait, what? I've got whiplash here.
Yeah, it's like, I get what they're trying to go for. It's like, oh, this film is the build up to Superman, and the sequel's gonna be Superman. I get it, but this switch, way too fast. Like, if we saw a gradual change in Clark, like, I can't believe I'm saying this, but Amazing Spider-Man 2 kind of did it better. Now let me explain why.
With going like season to season.
No, Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, they go season to season after Gwen's death.
Yes, exactly. So after Gwen's death, there's a progression of time where Peter is really depressed about it, and then it takes a certain event to get him to go back again. So there you go. You mourn, and then you go back to the joy. Whereas here, you get a scream of pain, and then you go to joy. Very jarring.
Yeah, it's very like, whoa.
Also, to drive the nail home even deeper, Twilight New Moon does it better.
Oh god, I know.
Let me explain why.
I think I know the scene you mean.
It's even done better in the books, actually, I gotta admit. Like, there's that scene where Edward breaks up with Bella, and then you got to see the circular scene and the seasons changing. There you go.
I thought
You've got a
that scene was
transition.
kind of cool. Yeah.
I'll be right back, guys.
How dare you?
Okay.
But while he is away, we've got a like when the general just came out of the car and just went, "Are you effing stupid?" I'm like, "Effing, really?"
Fun.
Like, oh, you're so adorable. I want to pinch your cheeks. Like this conversation, I don't really have a problem with. I have one nitpick though, and that is that Clark says, I grew up in Kansas, and this is right after you told the general that, oh, I know you're looking for me. So you just narrowed the search down big time for them. And I'm like, Clark, why are you stupid?
Cause he's Kryptonian.
Okay, so I've always thought this, right? This joke, I get it's a joke.
Oh, the one from Carol Ferris.
Yes.
It is Carol Ferris, right?
It's Carol Ferris, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I love Christina Wren. She is so adorable. And the way she delivers it is like, oh, I want to pinch your cheeks and say, oh, you did a good job. Because Christina Wren is so adorable. But when she just goes, oh, I just think he's hot, and then just has that little giggle
yeah.
afterwards, I'm like, oh, you're so cute. Makes no sense, but you're so cute.
I rolled my eyes so hard at that bit.
I know, it's such a bad line to have, and she does the damnedest to make it work. I gotta give it to her.
I was like, oh bless you, you tried. You tried
Yeah.
to make it like I'm in this movie too. But I was
I
just
mean-
like, oh my god, the writing.
She was
In-
spitting facts, to be fair, but you know.
I mean, yeah.
Do you guys feel as though in a lot of the DC, well, yeah, in a lot of the DC films, do you feel as though that there are a lot of lines that just thud? And I don't mean like casual lines that every movie has, where it's like, that didn't work quite as well. But like, I mean, absolutely thud upon impact.
Oh, you mean
Yeah.
like, oh, this is the zinger for the end of the dialogue scene, and then it just kind of falls flat on his face like a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm fine. I haven't really paid attention to that, but you might have a case for it.
I feel like DC is very bad at humor.
Yeah. It's not even that.
Unless it's The Dark Knight, because some of the lines the Joker has in that do make me laugh.
I wouldn't even say that they're bad at humor. It's just that there's a certain tone that they're going for, and it doesn't allow for a
Yeah.
lot of humor. But
Yeah.
the moments that they choose to introduce humor is what's off.
I would
Yeah.
agree with
It's-
you there.
It's like that video that I shared the link with yesterday. The video is called "The Problem with DC" like action sequences, and it talks about a bit where in Marvel you get like a fight scene, then you get like a pause, and sometimes the characters will say something, and because of that pause, that kind of makes it work more.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to watch the video. Still
Okay.
haven't gotten a chance to
That's
watch
fine.
it yet, but
Like I'll use an example, like I'm trying to think now. Like I think it's after they've been fighting, and I think it's Falcon and Winter Soldier, and they're just like there's just have this back and forth, and one of them just goes, "I hate you," and it's really funny. I feel like that's one example of them just being in a fight scene, and the next minute they're just like, "Oh my god, I hate you!" Like
I do love the
in a
banter.
bantery way.
that. Okay, so this is coming from me not having seen the video, but I would argue that it's all dependent upon context. Like the
Yeah.
Marvel films have a reputation of having humor, and that makes it a
Yeah.
lot easier to inject humor into those scenes.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot
That
more
wasn't-
digestible.
They
Yeah,
also know when to shut the fuck up and let the dramatic moment play out. So that's the
Yeah,
difference.
I think that's what what it was talking about in the video as well. And also that example wasn't in the video. That was me trying to find
Oh, right,
my
okay.
own example, and I don't think I found a very good one.
Oh, so
But
I
my
guess
point-
what you were trying to say was maybe when Falcon and Winter Soldier, the two of them were fighting Spider-Man in the airport when Spider-Man was
Yeah.
quipping and the two of them were fighting at the same time.
Yeah, I think that's probably a better example.
Okay.
But yeah, I think you're right. It is. I think it's just a case of they know how to make the action interesting by taking a break. Like I feel like DC movies a lot of the time when there is action, it's like action, boom, more action, 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 and there's just no breaks.
Okay.
And it's just
Like I said,
a
though,
bit.
it really does depend on content. Because let's take the same film,
Yeah.
Civil War, again, fucking hell. But the end fight with Tony, Cap, and Winter Soldier, there's barely dialogue in that entire fight scene. It's
Yeah,
raw
no,
emotion.
I know I'm not saying like specifically to stop and have dialogue. I'm just saying that they stop and let you sort of just take in the scene for a little bit before they go
Gotcha,
back to
gotcha.
A
fighting
little
some
bit of a
more.
breather.
I get
Yeah,
what you mean.
I don't
yeah.
mean necessarily there has to be dialogue in between. I'm just saying like they do take a break,
Right. I get
and I
what
feel
you
like
mean.
that's why it works better.
So, yeah, for all intents and purposes, Marvel knows how to make a fight scene like a fight scene.
Yep.
That's the argument here. Let's be honest. But because, like some guy on YouTube, that's on this call, did make a fight scene video, like, just putting it out there.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, like, I would say with the appropriate writing, Zack and like everyone in the DC universe could fucking do it because they're all competent filmmakers.
Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely.
Oh, yeah.
I just think that the writing hasn't
Yeah,
been there.
the writing
feel
is
like-
really what holds them back in most
Yeah.
areas in the DC universe.
I also feel like
I feel as sorry.
It's okay. I was gonna say, I feel like the tone of the movies is always super dark, so it's really hard for it to be anything else, really. And I
I'm-
feel like that
I'm one of
affects
the
the
people
writing
that I'm like,
sometimes.
I'm perfectly alright with the films being dark because it gives me
Yeah,
something different
I
to the
don't
Marvel
think tone
world.
is a problem at all.
Fair enough. I like dark. I just think sometimes maybe they write themselves into a situation of like they can't really put specific moments in it.
That's
because of
just
the
down
tone?
to
I
the
don't
talent
know.
of the writer then, in that case.
Yeah.
So that's
I-
not even a
I-
matter of tone.
I feel as though tone isn't a problem. It's just finding the appropriate moments.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's like you said earlier, Amy, like The Dark Knight is a pretty dark film, but it has humor because it knows when
Yeah.
to use it. And that's the thing. Like over here, we've got an example of humor, but it's in the it's in the worst possible place. So there's attempts
Yeah.
at humor, it's just not in the right place. And you can have humor in a dark film, like fucking hell. The
Yeah.
original It has humor in it, a lot of it.
Yeah.
So, like I say, it's all about context. That's what we've
Definitely,
taken away from this
definitely.
conversation. But yeah. Anyway, we're minutes away from finishing.
Woohoo.
Now, Clark is in the cemetery with Martha. And that's next.
Oh, I
God,
just remembered. We gotta watch that in there.
I'm looking forward to it, seeing where it stacks up. But yeah, Martha and Clark are at Jonathan's grave. And they're talking about, oh, he never got to see me be a superhero. And it's like, oh, no, he's so. And then we got a nice, adorable moment where he's playing with a doggo, and Jonathan's just going, oh, look at my boy. It's a bit of a wholesome scene.
Yeah.
And then we get Clark's reasoning on why he's going to be a reporter. And I'm down for that. I don't find anything wrong with that. It's like, okay, you want to be where you get the stories and all that, then that's fine.
Yeah.
Now, his
Makes
competence,
sense.
yeah, his competence as a reporter is put into question in Batman v Superman, but we'll get to that next week.
Yeah. I feel like they could have had him become a reporter like halfway in, and I feel like that would have made the Lois and him romance a bit stronger.
I'm of the camp of leave it till the second film altogether. Because
Yeah,
Oh,
I
that-
this
feel
film
the
is
yeah.
same
already
way
packed
about
as it
that.
is.
It feels more appropriate in a second film because following the journey that Clark is going on in this film,
Yeah.
it's like we were saying, it's as though for the first half of the film, it was like, long durations of time between when we see Clark, and then you hit the middle of the film and it's like, oh, this is all happening in one day.
Yeah, I guess so. That's a good point. I guess then I would have preferred if they just maybe not had the romance go on with Lois, like maybe have them be obviously introduced to each other, but not necessarily have the
Acquaintances at
romance
best.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, or like at least foreshadow there's gonna be a romance. You don't need to have the romance this one. I feel like
Now-
that might have been better.
That being said, like,
Maybe even including the fact that Clark might be smitten with her,
Yeah.
but like have it be one-sided in this film, maybe.
now that's not to say that you can't
don't
have
know.
the two of them get together in the first
No, I
film of a
know.
trilogy, but that
No,
would
not
require
at
a
all.
completely different film.
Yeah,
I just,
definitely.
yeah, I just feel like she wasn't needed in this film. I mean, you take her out of it, really. What does she
You don't
Well,
really
what
miss
does-
anything.
exactly?
Like, she's there
Just
because
kind
she's
of
Lois Lane, and for no other reason. You cut her from with clever editing. You could probably cut her from this film, and you'd lose nothing.
Exactly. There was a way to do it.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure what way.
But as he's explaining his reasoning, he is biking his way to the planet, wearing his clothes and all that stuff. Okay, so
Yes.
this is a part that really annoys me, more than it should. But it's when Lombard comes with the basketball tickets for courtside, and both Lois and Jenny just scoffs and goes, no. And I'm like, okay, any other scenario, I'd be perfectly alright with them saying no to Lombard. But
Yeah.
in this particular
He saved
scenario, yes, he was literally willing to die alongside her when
Yeah,
everything
I
was
thought
getting
that was
crushed.
very weird.
I, at the
I was
very
like,
least,
that's a bit
humor
mean.
him.
Yeah, I was like, that's a little bit mean there.
Or at the very least say, just point and make damn sure he know, as friends.
Yeah.
Fine, I'm okay with
She
that.
could have been like, okay, as friends. That would have been fine. But to be like, I don't think so, like, wow, bish, that's a
Yeah,
bit mean.
it's like, I should have just left you under the rubble. Jesus Christ. Oh my god, like, that was, no, that part really bothered me. It's a nitpick, but it's a nitpick that really fucking bothered me.
Fair enough. Like, it didn't bother me too much. Like, I get why they had it, but I was like, also, that's a really mean thing to do to someone that just saved your life. Like, I get it. If you don't like him in that way, that's totally fine. No one says you have to, but to be all like, I don't even think so, like, it's like, how could you even suggest that? That's just no. Like, it's not hard to just be like, no, just as friends.
Yeah. And
Or,
courtside
I
tickets,
don't
they're
know.
pretty fucking expensive.
Yeah.
Oy. On a more positive note, Clark comes along and is introduced to the group. And it's a really wholesome moment. I kind of wish Clark was wearing something a little different, because there's no way you're hiding that body under something so tight.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like the original Superman where he's purposefully wearing loose clothes and slouching
Yeah.
and stuff like that to
Yeah.
make the most of the disguise. Here it's
This
just
one, I was just like, he's
glasses.
straight up.
There's a
About to
very
pop out.
clear distinction between how Christopher Reeve played Superman versus how, played Clark Kent, the
Yeah.
reporter, versus how Henry Cavill portrays him in this scene.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
you've just slapped some glasses on him and called it a day, haven't you?
Yeah. presentation aside, I do really like this scene. It's just introducing to everyone, and the two of them are playing coy because they know each other, and then, Lois all but winking to the camera saying welcome to the planet, and the big fucking goofy smile he has on his face. Like, it's all so wholesome. This one scene, I'm like, Superman!
Cute.
We started the film!
Yeah.
Or rather, we started the second film here. And this just saddens me knowing that we'll probably not get another Henry Cavill Superman film.
I would be surprised if that happens.
I know, and it sucks because it's so good. I mean, that is just the face you want to see on a Superman, though.
Yeah. You just look so happy to be there. She's like, I'm here.
And he loves Superman as well.
Yeah. But that, ladies and gentlemen, is Man of Metal. So, now that we have finished our conversation, where do you guys stand on Man of Metal?
I still liked it. There are parts of it where I'm just like, oh, come on, this could have been done way better. But I still like it, and I would still watch this again, and I would definitely not watch Wonder Woman again.
And David?
I like it more than Wonder Woman, is what I'm trying to say.
God, both Wonder Woman put together.
Yeah.
And David?
I still like the film. I would say that there are points brought up in this conversation that have made me think a bit more about certain aspects of the film. But overall, I'd say that I still enjoy it. I do love Henry Cavill as Superman. I wish that he had more to do in this film and, his entire time as Superman.
He could have had more lines.
And the action does feel quite overblown. Some situations could have been handled a lot better in the film. And I do prefer the first half to the second, but overall, I do enjoy the film. It's not a classic by any means, but I do like it, yeah. And in terms of where it stacks up in the films that we've discussed, I don't know. I'd say that for me, it is definitely above Wonder Woman 1984. But I'd say that it's pretty even with the original Wonder Woman for me, at least.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. If you want to maintain that opinion, David, I recommend you don't watch our Wonder Woman breakdown.
Okay. I will say this though. Hans Zimmer's score.
Oh my god.
Superb. I love this music.
It's orgasmic. That's how good
good.
it is. Oh, Hans Zimmer's score in Man of Steel and BVS is just so good. My god. It's incredible music. Okay, so my next question and my final big question would be, has your opinion of Man of Steel, to whatever degree, risen or fallen since we started this long conversation?
I don't think so, no. I still have the same... still feel the same way about it. Like, I liked it, but it was definitely like there were nitpicky things in it that are still there.
Yeah.
So I guess in terms of, like, since I first watched it, I definitely didn't like it as much as the first time I watched it, but I still liked it. But during this conversation, no, my opinion's not really changed.
Yeah, I feel the same way. When I first watched it, it was like, wow, I really enjoyed that. Whereas with subsequent viewings, I've been like, I enjoyed that, not as much as the first time, but I enjoyed that, and yeah. I still feel the same way after this conversation. Maybe it's gone down a little bit, but not by any dramatic amount.
Sweet.
How about yourself?
Oh, from a purely subjective perspective of whether I like it or not, I love it. I have a really good time watching it every single time. But if you were to ask me, oh, from an objective perspective, do you think it's good or bad, and has it risen or fallen from a quality standpoint? I'd say my perspective from the quality standpoint, it has dropped significantly. Not just throughout this conversation, but throughout watching it over the past week as well. So, yeah. That being said, miles ahead of both Wonder Woman films.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Next, it's gonna be BVS, and the week after is gonna be Justice League. Fucking A.
Are we gonna watch the theatrical and the Snyder
I'm-
Cut?
Oh, wait, for
Doing
Justice
that.
League?
Yeah.
No, just
I'm
the
not
Snyder
doing
Cut.
Okay.
Just the Snyder Cut.
Yeah.
No.
Just
Like-
making sure.
I refuse.
But yeah, I'm gonna be watching the Ultimate Cut because I want to watch the truest version of the film I can for the conversation. But feel free to watch whichever version you want. Just give me a heads up beforehand if
Okay.
you do watch the theatrical cut. That way I
I'm
know
just gonna
what
watch-
version.
I'm just gonna watch the Snyder Cut. Do you think maybe I should watch a different cut just to compare the two, or
For BVS.
yeah? No,
Uh,
no. Oh, I thought we were talking about Justice League.
No.
still, sorry.
I was talking about BVS. I'm watching
Oh,
the
okay.
full cut for BVS. That's why I'm saying watch whichever cut you want, the theatrical or the ultimate.
Okay.
Just give me a heads up if you do choose to. I'm watching the ultimate because I want the truest version of the film to criticize if I'm going to be criticizing anything.
Okay. I'll probably watch that one then. As well.
Cool. It's
To
only
give it,
3
like, a
hours.
fair
But I have seen it multiple times and I do enjoy it. Like, theatrical cover was fucking atrocious in comparison, but it's still not great. I'll give you that. So I'm looking forward to hearing what you say about it.
I've seen scenes from the Ultimate Edition, and I do think that it does improve the film in certain aspects.
Oh,
But
okay.
I am still not a fan of BVS. But I do like Batfleck.
Oh my god, Batfleck
I
and
like
Alfred
Batfleck.
are amazing in that film.
Warehouse scene.
Oh my
That's all I'm gonna say.
So good. So
I don't
good.
remember it, so I'll take your word for it.
You will.
I'm sure I will like it.
It's like if there's a North Star in that film, it's the warehouse scene.
It's like if Batman Arkham Knight just went live action for like 10 minutes.
Oh, cool.
Like, that's why I would love to see a Zack Snyder full-on Batman film.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Because he got Batman spot on in that film. From what I remember.
I haven't seen it since release. I've seen the Ultimate Edition scenes a couple of years ago when you lent the Blu-ray to me.
Oh shit, yeah, that was the thing. I forgot that happened.
But aside from that, yeah, I haven't seen BVS since I saw it in cinemas, so it'll be an interesting watch.
Oh yeah. And you know what? This is the least we've spoken about a DC film.
Yeah.
Woo!
6 hours, so right.
Makes a nice change.
Absolutely. So now that we are all done and dusted with that, anything you want to close on?
Thank you for watching us for 6 hours, if you have done.
Yeah.
Definitely. I suppose I would say, while we've had good Superman films in the past, and I do enjoy Man of Steel, I would really like one day to be like fully on board with
Yeah.
a new Superman movie. Like I think that would be an amazing experience.
Yeah.
I would be slightly disappointed if we had a villain that we'd already seen before in multiple films, like we have done in the past. But I'm open to new interpretations as well, so keep it fresh.
Fresh.
But yeah, thank you guys for watching.
Alrighto. Thank you everyone for watching. We hope you had a wonderful time listening to us whinge about Man of Steel for 6 hours. But yeah, next week, next Sunday, next Monday, next week, we're going to be talking about Batman v Superman, and who knows how long that will take. So
It'll be a journey.
it will be a journey.
It
So,
will.
and then after that, the week after that is gonna be Zack Snyder's Justice League. So, and that we're definitely taking our time with. So,
Yeah.
4 hours.
it's a chunkus of a
hours.
film.
Chapters by chapters. So yeah, it may take us a very long time to get through that one.
But yeah. So thank you everyone for watching, and toodaloo, cheerio, bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.